Imagine a football stadium, a giant one. Now fill the entire field with $100 bills. Feels massive, right? But it's nothing compared to the US debt, not even close. To picture it, you need more than 30 stadiums filled the same way. Why? Because the US debt is huge and it grows every minute. So the real question is, how did it get this bad? And why is no one freaking out? So, how big is the US debt? The US owes more than $38 trillion. Yes, trillion. Pigeon owes $5 to a friend and keeps pretending he forgot. Now imagine 38 trillion. Sorry bro, I forgot again. The national debt is simply this. The government spends more money than it collects in taxes every single year. That gap is called the deficit. And every year there is a deficit. The debt becomes larger and larger. So how does the government get the money? Simple. It sells Treasury bonds. These are official documents. They say, give us money today. We will pay you later, plus interest. But who buys these bonds? Many investors inside the country. Pension funds, banks, insurance companies, retirement accounts, the Federal Reserve. Foreign countries buy too, but together they hold only about 1/4. So no, America does not owe everything to China. That rumor needs to sit down. It's acting like one of those chain messages that say, send this to 20 pigeons or you'll have bad luck. Why can the US borrow so much? Because the dollar is global and US treasuries are considered safe. Investors trust them. They feel secure holding them. For many years, interest rates were low. Borrowing was cheap. So the debt rose, but the cost stayed soft and quiet. No one panicked. But then, things changed. So how did this become a big problem? The pandemic hit, the world shook, factories closed, ships stopped, stores ran out of things. Then pigeons stared at empty shelves and felt confused. The US government spent a lot to keep the economy alive. This added even more debt. Then inflation arrived. Prices went up fast. Rent, food, gas, everything went up. Except Pigeon's bank account. That one just said, good luck, bro. To fight inflation, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates again and again. Why? Because higher rates make borrowing more expensive, so pigeons and companies take fewer loans. Then, less money moves around, and prices stop rising so fast. But higher rates make government debt much more expensive. Like suddenly your loan payment jumps, even though your income stays the same. Right now, the US pays almost $1 trillion per year just in interest. Not for new roads, not for new science, not for better services for pigeons, just interest. A giant number that does not build anything. And because the government still has deficits, it must borrow more. Borrowing more adds more interest. More interest increases borrowing. This becomes a loop. It's like setting 10 alarms and still waking up late. Trust me, Pigeon understands. We also need to talk about debt to GDP. GDP is everything the whole country produces in a year. Comparing debt to GDP tells us if the debt is manageable. If a pigeon makes $30,000 a year and owes $200,000, that is heavy. But if a pigeon makes $1 million a year and owes the same amount, that is fine. Right now, the US debt to GDP ratio is high. Some debt is okay. You can use it to build useful things, infrastructure, education, energy systems, research. It can grow the economy. But borrowing money just to pay today's bills or pay yesterday's interest does not grow anything. It only buys time and makes the future tighter. So why not fix it now? Because of politics. Cut spending? Some pigeons get upset. Raise taxes? Other pigeons get upset. And politicians do not like upset pigeons. We are loud. We protest. So leaders delay. They say, future pigeons will deal with this. Wow, cool. Let's just give the bill to pigeons who don't even exist yet. Wait, will my kids be okay? Great. Now I'm stressed again. Many pigeons ask, if the debt is so big, why hasn't the system collapsed? The answer is trust. The dollar is global and the US economy is huge. Investors believe the US will pay and this belief gives time, but not unlimited time. If trust breaks, everything changes. A debt crisis begins when investors demand very high interest to lend money or stop lending at all. Then, the government must cut spending fast or print money fast. Both hurt. Other countries face this, Greece, Argentina, Mexico, but they borrowed in currencies they could not print. America borrows in dollars and can print dollars. This gives more flexibility, but printing too much creates inflation. This is the moment Pigeon starts going to therapy again. Okay, so what does this mean for pigeons like you and me? First, mortgages. Higher interest means home loans cost more, so monthly payments jump. Pigeons start feeling poorer. Then they start thinking, should I just live under this bridge instead? But wait, where would I charge my phone? Next, rent. Landlords with higher costs raise rent. Pigeons renting apartments feel squeezed. Sometimes, it's hard to make it to the end of the month. Then you just stare at the walls thinking, is this place worth this price? Then come everyday bills, car loans, credit cards, all the small things pigeons use to get through life. Higher interest makes this painful fast. Pigeons feel poorer. And what happens if you miss one payment? Your bill starts growing faster than pigeons at a park when someone drops food. Now, jobs. This part always makes me nervous. Higher rates slow businesses. They borrow less. They grow slower. They hire fewer pigeons, or even lay pigeons off. So now, I pretend to look busy even when I have nothing to do. But wait, isn't that what I always do? Next, retirement. Most retirement accounts hold stocks and bonds. If investors worry about debt, markets start moving like crazy. Your retirement balance feels like a roller coaster. One day, you have $100,000. The next day, you have $5. And finally, government services. A giant part of the budget now goes to interest. That means less money for schools, roads, healthcare, or taxes must rise. Either way, pigeons feel it. Let's step back for a second. Why are rates high? Because inflation jumped. And why did this happen? Supply chains broke, energy got expensive, the pandemic disrupted everything, the government spent a lot, and the world became unstable. That's what pushed the Fed to raise rates fast. But here's the problem. Many pigeons believe things about the debt that are just not true. So let's clear a few myths. First myth. China can demand the money right now. No, that is not how bonds work. Bonds have fixed terms. China cannot just show up today and say, give us all the money. Impossible. Second myth. The Fed can print money and erase the debt. Printing only changes who holds the debt. It does not delete it. And printing too much causes inflation. Third myth. Debt does not matter for America. It does. Interest is now one of the biggest expenses. And once pigeons see that, they know something has to change. So, can we fix this big mess? Yes, but it is easier now than later. Here are 3 tools government pigeons use. First tool, control spending. Don't cut everything. Just slow the growth of spending. Reduce waste. Make programs work better. Second tool, collect more. Don't worry. Pigeon does not mean raising taxes. He has no money for that. This is about better enforcement, close loopholes, stop cheating, make sure every pigeon and every company pays what they already owe. Third tool, grow the economy, the strongest tool. If the economy grows fast, the debt becomes smaller compared to income. Growth comes from things like more workers, better education, new technology, strong infrastructure, and cleaner energy. Growth makes the economy richer. The best plan usually mixes all 3, but doing all that is not always easy. So what happens now? The national debt is huge, growing every minute, but the US is strong, the economy is large, the dollar is trusted, and investors still believe in the system. They can fix this, but if the problem is ignored, interest payments will grow until they take over the whole budget. So yes, the US debt problem is serious, but no, the country is not doomed. Subscribe to support Pigeon before he gets into more debt than the United States.